everyone, welcome back to my channel Let's Learn with Lizzie, where we break down English grammar so that everyone can master it step by step. Today we are going to dive deep into pronouns. By the end of this video, you will know what pronouns are and why we need them, all the major types with a clear explanation, common mistakes and how to avoid them, tricky cases that even advanced learners get wrong, and a practice challenge to test your knowledge. So grab a notebook because this is going to be your ultimate guide to pronouns. Imagine you had to say, Aisha is a great singer. Aisha practices every day. Aisha's voice is beautiful. It sounds robotic and repetitive, right? Instead of that, why don't you use pronouns to replace the noun? Aisha is a great singer. She practices every day. Her voice is beautiful. Pronouns basically save time, make speech natural, and helps us avoid repetition. They also help maintain cohesion in writing, making it easier for the readers or listeners to follow along. So now let's see why these pronouns are so important in the sentence. Basically, as I already told you, it avoids redundancy. Next, it improves sentence flow and it clarifies the meaning. So now let's focus on the types of pronouns, each one in detail. First comes the personal pronoun. It represents specific people, animals, or things. They change depending on who is speaking, to whom, and about whom. So the first one, so the subject pronoun is the one which does the action, which includes I, you, he, she, it, we, they. Example, she went to the market. Object pronouns receive the action which acts as the object or which replaces the object. The common object pronouns are me, you, him, her, it, us, they. For example, the teacher called him. Here's a quick tip for you. Always use a subject pronoun before the verb, as in the sentence he runs fast, and use an object pronoun after verbs or preposition. The gift is for her. The common mistake we do in personal pronoun is me went to the park. Well, here me is an object pronoun. Then why are we using it in the place of a subject, right? So the correct form of the sentence is I went to the market. So next comes the possessive pronoun, which is very important. It shows the ownership and replaces the entire noun. The common possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, theirs. Example, this is mine. This seat is ours. It replaces the our seat. Then we are having possessive adjectives which are showing ownership and possession. Again, just with a small twist, it comes before a noun. The common difference between the possessive pronoun and possessive adjective is that possessive pronoun stands alone and it replaces the noun completely. For example, in the sentence, this is mine, the word mine is taking the place of the noun itself. We don't have any explanation over there. And the house at the end of the street is ours. So again here it is talking about our house which is completely being replaced. But on the other hand, the possessive adjective comes before a noun and it describes the ownership. For example, this is my book. Here I am having my with the book which is describing the book. We love our garden. So it is talking about our garden and it is coming before the garden. So the quick rule that you have to remember is if the word is before a noun, it is possessive adjective. If it stands alone, then it is possessive pronoun. I hope it is clear to you all. Now let's move on to reflexive pronoun. Reflexive pronouns are used when the subject and object are the same. They end in self for singular form and selves for plural form. The common Reflexive pronouns are myself, yourself, himself, herself, itself, ourself, yourselves, and themselves. For example, I taught myself how to cook. She blamed herself for the accident. I did it myself. He hurt himself. Now let's move on to demonstrative pronouns. Demonstrative pronouns point to specific things, showing which one it is. The common forms of demonstrative pronouns are this, that, these, those. For example, this is delicious. Well, in this sentence, this is delicious. Maybe the thing is very near to you in time or space, which is in singular format. Next sentence, these are my shoes. Again, the shoes is a plural form which is near to you, so I'm using the word these. That is my friend over there. It is in singular form, but the person is far away from you, so you are using the word that. Those are the mountains we climbed. The plural form of mountains, which is very far away from you, so I'm using those. Now, let me give you a quick tip that don't get confused again with the concept of the pronouns and the adjectives. Why? Because always remember, pronouns are taking the place of noun. It is replacing the entire noun and it can stand alone. Whereas demonstrative adjective or any other type of adjective cannot stand alone. It is describing the noun and it will come before the noun. Next, let's move on to interrogative pronouns, which are used to ask questions about a noun's, identify ownership or details. The forms are who, whom, whose, which, what. For example, who is at the door? We are pointing out to the subject. Whom did you meet? Now we are more formally pointing out at the object. Whose phone it is ringing? We are talking about the ownership. Which color do you prefer? Which is talking about the choice. What happened? We are asking for the information. So now we are moving on to relative pronouns. Relative pronouns connect a noun to a relative clause, a phrase that describes or gives more information about that particular noun. The basic forms of relative pronouns are who, whom, whose, which, that. The girl who spoke is my cousin. The book that you lent me is excellent. I know you might be confused between the interrogative pronoun and relative pronouns, right? Because they both look similar. But remember one thing, that interrogative pronouns ask a direct question. For example, who is knocking at the door? Which color do you prefer? Whereas relative pronouns link a descriptive clause to a noun. No question mark is there. The teacher who taught me is kind. This is the dress which I bought yesterday. So easy check. Always remember that interrogative pronouns ends with a question mark. The sentence with an interrogative pronoun ends with a question mark, whereas if it is describing a noun, it becomes a relative pronoun. Then we are having indefinite pronouns, which refers to non-specific people or things. The common indefinite pronouns include someone, anyone, everybody, everyone, nobody, each, something, few, and many more. For example, everyone is welcome. Few attended the meeting. Now, here's a quick number rule for you guys. Remember that if it is in the singular form, kindly go for the pronouns like everyone, each, someone. These are something which is talking about singular, and it will always be in singular form. Whereas the words like few, many will always be in plural form. Singular or plural form is depending on the context, like all is lost. In this sentence, all is lost. Lost is talking about something which is abstract. Since it is abstract concept, I am considering all in a singular form. Whereas all are happy, here I am talking about all in the context of referring to people, right? When I'm talking about all the people, I will not use is because there are many people, so I will be using all are happy in the plural form. I hope it is very clear to you all. If you're having any doubt in the concept of pronouns, kindly ping me in the comment section. So now moving on to common mistakes with the pronoun. Where do we make the mistakes? So first thing, using the wrong case. As I already gave you the example, me went to the store is a wrong form. Why? Because I need a subject pronoun to replace the subject. And the correct way of saying the sentence is I went to the store. Next, confusing the possessives and the contraction form. Basically, you won't do any mistakes when you are speaking with somebody, since because your versus your with an apostrophe both are having the same pronunciation, so we don't have any problem with that. But when you are writing something, at that time you tend to make a common mistake, that is you put your instead of you are and you are instead of your. So always remember, your with the spelling your is a pronoun which is replacing the noun, whereas your with an apostrophe re is the contracted form, that is shrinked form, a short form of you are. Now moving on to vague pronoun references. This is common in both spoken English and written English. Why? Because I will tell you how. He said it was mine. Now who this he is or who it is, we don't know who or what we are referring to, right? So, whenever you are speaking or writing about something or someone, make sure that you are introducing the person, thing, place, or anything, whatever you are referring to. Mention the detailings first, next, then replace it so that it becomes very easy for the audience to read it or understand it very properly in a more clear way, because you need a noun to replace it. Without knowing what the noun is, you cannot replace it, right? So now let's have a quick practice session. Fill in the blank with the appropriate pronoun case. Michael and blank are going to the park. Of course, the answer is I, because you cannot use me here. And remember that, moreover, in spoken English or in written English, it is said that whenever you are using compound subjects with I, you should always put the other subjects first and I at the end, because we need to give importance to others, then come to us. It would sound more polite. Let me give you the example of the same sentence using I in the beginning. I and Michael are going to the park. It might sound little weird. So the right format of saying the sentence is Michael and I are going to the park. Now let's have an error spotting session. Me and John are going to the park. What's wrong here? Well, I know that you know the answer. John and I are going to the park is the correct sentence. Why don't you all now pause the video for a moment and write the answers in the comment section and let me know how good you have understood the concepts of pronouns. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this complete guide to pronouns. If you learned something new, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel for more English lessons. See you in the next class.